I dedicate this house to the Griswold family Christmas.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Phil at the Movies. I'm Phil Walsh, and this is show number 140 of this ongoing podcast that is always for the love of movies. Happy Thanksgiving week to everyone here in the States celebrating Turkey Day, as well as the kickoff to the Christmas season. This episode dropping on Black Friday, so the holiday season is now in full swing here and around the globe. I guess, does anyone still do Black Friday shopping? And I mean that seriously, because it feels like now, the day after Halloween, it's Black Friday shopping for the entire month of November, whereas it seems like years ago, and maybe I'm dating myself a little bit, it seemed like it was just this one major day right after Thanksgiving, and that was it. You had Cyber Monday, but that was it. All of the deals, all of the sales were concentrated on the day after Turkey Day. And now, of course, it's like, you know, endless sales and discount days and whatnot. And it feels like the institution of Black Friday is pretty much gone into the rearview mirror of history. But needless to say, whether you are enjoying some turkey leftovers or waiting in line at a store or out just enjoying the start of the holiday season, I hope this episode puts you in a good mood and fills your heart with Christmas cheer and good fun. As teased at the start, you can guess what today's episode is going to be about. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which, interestingly enough, turns 35 next month. 35 years old. And I was thinking about it recently. This is one of my favorite films, to say nothing of it being one of my favorite, and arguably could be my favorite Christmas movie, though I do go back and forth between Christmas Vacation and A Christmas Story, but it's a razor's edge decision. But I was thinking about it. In almost 3 years of doing this show, I've never talked about Christmas Vacation, and I was kind of shocked that it somehow slipped through the radar, if you will, during the holiday season. So I thought it was perfect now, given, of course, that this year it is turning and celebrating its 35th anniversary. And I mean, you talk about a modern day Christmas classic. I don't think there's many others that sort of stack up to Christmas Vacation, particularly in the last 35 years. Though there have been some that may enter the conversation. Christmas Vacation is sort of right there, holding strong 35 years later as a seminal Christmas classic in the same conversation as A Christmas Story, It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street, etc., etc. But before I begin with my thoughts and review on the classic Griswold Christmas adventure, want to take today to start by just saying how appreciative and grateful I am to you, the listeners, in this spirit of Thanksgiving, which we are still hanging on to, the hangover of Turkey Day. We're maybe still in our food comas. Want to just take a moment to say how much I appreciate each and every one of you who listens to this show every Friday, the shares with friends and family, the recommendations, the likes, the subscribes, the interactions on Twitter, Instagram, etc. I am just so eternally grateful to each and every one of you for being a part of this cinematic journey with me and for engaging with the show. As I have said time and again, I consider anyone who listens to the show a friend, and I can proudly say that a lot of great friendships have been forged through doing this now almost 3 years later. And just, it would not be possible. It would not be possible without your support, your encouragement, your embrace of the show. As I say each and every week, it is for the love of movies, and that is why we come together. That's why we gather for this little podcast interaction, if you will. We share that love of movies, and it's such a unifying experience because, as I've said before, movies cross all divides, cultural, political, economic, cultural, etc., and it brings people together. There's nothing like watching a movie and then discussing it with family and friends, and then sort of gauging people's reactions, particularly if you're on opposite sides of a movie. That's always a fun time, particularly if a movie is controversial. And again, what is the point of art if it doesn't spark a little discussion and debate? But just to put a bow on it, thank you for tuning in each and every Friday. From the bottom of my heart, I am grateful to you, the friends, you, the listeners of this show. I'm going to keep doing it so long as there are movies, and fortunately, thank God, movies are not going anywhere. Certainly not if I have anything to say about it. Lastly, before I decorate the tree that is Christmas Vacation, want to let you know on where things are heading for the month of December. Got a pretty stacked month with a lot of special guests, as well as the first live show. Yes, I teased that early in November that I would be doing a live show every now and again, just to sort of have that sort of interactive nature where we can come together for an hour on YouTube, talk movies, usually be centered around a particular topic. And I thought it would be fun, given that it will happen in December, to make the entire focus on Christmas movies. So we'll discuss our favorite Christmas films. We'll maybe offer some rankings and whatnot. Throw out a few oddball choices, ones that may not be the conventional pick for Christmas movies, and just have a get together, so to speak, a virtual get together, and see how it goes. Again, I've never done a live show before, but wanted to integrate that into the podcast. So that will be happening in December. In addition, going to be talking about Terrifier 3, the horror Christmas film that came out in October that has already broken box office records for an unrated independent film. Going to also be ranking some of my favorite horror films of the year. Got some special guests joining me for that, as well as my favorite films of the year, before closing out the month of December with my review of Nosferatu. Now, the film opens on Christmas Day. Perfect timing, honestly, for all us horror fans out there. But I am trying, fingers crossed, to see an early screening on December 18th. Can't guarantee it's going to happen, but I'm hopeful that I can. Otherwise, I will be seeing it right after Christmas, and still will be bringing my review to you on the 27th to close out 2024. And what a year it has been, and looking forward to all the new movies in 2025. But we'll save that discussion for another day. But for now, that is where things look for December. Stay tuned for information on the live show on YouTube. Looking at December 17th, I will certainly publicize that once it is set and official. But let me unwrap the gift that is today's review, the hilarious and heartwarming Christmas Vacation. Christmas Vacation is the third entry in the National Lampoon's Vacation series, starring Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo as Clark and Ellen Griswold. This is the third entry, but it is arguably the most memorable, and in part because it is replayed on TV each and every year and has become a staple as a Christmas movie. Become a fucking National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is the third entry in the Vacation film series created by John Hughes, starring, of course, Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo as Clark and Ellen Griswold. This third film is arguably the most memorable of the series, thanks in part to the Christmas setting that elevates the antics and pratfalls of Clark Griswold into the stratosphere of modern-day Christmas classics. The plot finds Clark Griswold staying at home for the holidays. Rather than vacationing to Wally World or traveling across Europe, the family is staying home this year and inviting all the relatives over for the festivities. And as you would expect, nothing goes as planned. To put it best, Clark describes their holiday gathering, which devolves into chaos and shambles, as evidence that we're at the threshold of hell. Staying under one roof are Clark and Ellen's parents, and parked in the driveway are cousins Eddie and Catherine, who are staying in their RV, a beautifully out-of-place attraction for the suburbs. Oh, and Clark's grizzled and sarcastic Uncle Lewis and delightfully dim-witted Aunt Bethany are coming over for the big dinner as well. You have a dog terrorizing a cat, a Christmas tree set on fire, a squirrel loose in the house, the cops are even called, there's a quasi-kidnapping, holiday hijinks that defined a plethora of bad Christmas movies that have come out in the succeeding 35 years, all started here in the Griswolds' fun old-fashioned family Christmas. Chase, I think, gives his best performance as Clark Griswold, though if someone said the first film is his creme de la creme, I would agree with that as well. But for me, this is the one where he really shines as the ever-lovable and always-on-edge patriarch Clark Griswold, in part because he is delightfully subdued and overly optimistic throughout much of this film. Even when things go awry, he seldom cracks. Yes, the Christmas lights failed to work for a brief moment, resulting in a minor flip-out, but ultimately that is avoided when Ellen's ever-calm ability to save the day prevails. Clark's goal for this movie is simple: to give his family the perfect Christmas. Now, we all know there is no such thing, but it's fun to see Clark try, and try as he might, from seeking out the perfect Christmas tree in the woods to forgetting the saw and digging it out with his bare hands. Clark, ever the family man, is planning to give his family the gift of putting in a swimming pool, which he hopes his Christmas bonus check will cover. Oh, and that letter, of course, has failed to arrive. This sets up the all-time Clark Griswold flip-out, which are staples in the vacation films. In this movie, after the turkey is overcooked, thanks to Cousin Catherine's incompetence, Eddie's Rottweiler shreds the garbage through the kitchen, and, of course, Uncle Lewis sets the family Christmas tree on fire while lighting his cigar. All this comes to a head when Clark receives his Christmas bonus check, or the bonus check he thinks he is due to receive. A late-breaking mail delivery. Excitement builds. Tensions, which have been unreasonably high, or perhaps reasonably high given the holiday stresses, recede, and Clark looks like he is on top of the world, and of course, the bonus check he believed was coming his way ends up to be nothing but a gift card of sorts. A one-year membership to the Jelly of the Month Club, which Cousin Eddie delightfully points out, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year. Well, from that moment on, the plug is pulled on this Christmas gathering. Cue Clark's epic and legendary flip-out.
With a big ribbon on his head. And I want to look him straight in the eye, and I want to tell him what a cheap, lying, no-good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is. Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
I did not want to do that monologue justice by trying to imitate it or recite it. I wanted to give it to you from the man himself, as only Chevy Chase can do, and apparently during this scene he could not remember the lines, so they had cue cards on all the actors so he could nail the delivery perfectly. And you would never know watching the scene, he does it so flawlessly, but it is a moment that lives on in infamy, shall we say. Now, this film has countless moments of good cheer that will certainly have you, and you'll pardon the holiday pun, fa-la-la-la laughing all the way to the Jelly Club. It's one disaster after another for the Griswold family, and I think what makes this film so endearing is that despite its over-the-top nature, I think we can all relate to the pressures and the stresses of the holiday season. From trying to find the perfect Christmas tree, to burnt dinners, lights that don't work, to the family members who overstay their welcome. There is a sincerity to this film that other Christmas comedies lack, and I think it's that element of truthfulness that is wrapped underneath all of the chaos and the clutter and holiday cheer that makes this film so memorable and stick in the public zeitgeist, if you will. It is a laugh riot. I mean, I rewatch it every year and I love it just like I saw it the first time. It's one of those movies, it does not age. It's always funny, and it's on countless times throughout the Christmas season, and I'm guaranteed to watch it at least twice, maybe 3 times, depending on the year. But the more I think of it, Christmas Vacation is my favorite Christmas movie, in part because of the hilarity. I mean, it's always great to see Chevy Chase doing what he does best, but that timeless message that is at the heart of all great Christmas films, which is a reminder of the season, its importance, and that the ultimate Christmas gift is family. This film is a treasure. It's one of those movies that has lasted for 35 years, and I expect we'll be talking about it 35 years from now. And I think perhaps the funniest moment and perhaps the sweetest moment arrives right at the end of the film. After all is made right, the family remembers and rediscovers the true nature of the holiday. You just have Clark and Ellen standing outside the house. And, of course, the house is in shambles, but the lights are on and all is seemingly right with the world. This indestructible couple, if you will. And they share a tender moment before Clark remarks to himself that despite all the hell that has been that holiday season, he has brought his whole family together, prompting his final line, "I did it." And yes, you did, Chevy. Yes, you did, John Hughes. You did it. A modern-day Christmas classic, imitated but never matched, and certainly, in my humble opinion, not surpassed. And what a perfect way to end this holiday hijinks with a trip to the Griswold house for some fun, old-fashioned family Christmas. Let me know in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Are you a fan of Christmas Vacation? I know my family and I will rewatch this every Christmas Eve, guaranteed. It is a verbatim rewatch in my household. We love it. It is part of the Christmas lexicon and our holiday chatter and banter. But I'm curious, where does this film rank for you among Christmas classics? Do you hold it in as high esteem as I do? But in any event, that does it for me today, everybody. Again, happy Thanksgiving weekend. Hope it was a great time with family and friends and that you enjoyed a bountiful turkey feast or whatever you have. I know not everybody has turkey, but certainly a lot of good food and sweets this time of year, and plenty of movies to check out as well. And that is what I will be doing, both rewatching Christmas movies and checking out some new movies next month. But that does it for now, everybody. See you in December, where we'll do this all over again for the love of movies.
We're going to press on, and we're going to have the happiest Christmas.